You're back!
I'm Mandy.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp.
Woo!
The Deuce. We love The Deuce, an HBO show here on BuzzChomp, and I'm going to recap all of season 1 for you because a lot went down in only 8 episodes, and it's hard to keep track, and nobody wants to read all of that junk online. Season 1 of The Deuce takes place 1971 to 1972. This is like the beginnings, the precursors to the porn industry in New York City. Times Square. We have James Franco, who plays Frankie and Vinny, two brothers. And not until the very end of the season does he actually get into pornography, and only barely. So we know where season 2 is going to go, and that's kind of awesome. Time jumps 5 years. We'll get into that in the next video. This is season 1 recap. So in the beginning, right, Vinny, his brother Frankie has a debt to the mob, and Vinny starts a bar, and we see Cece, one of the main pimps, get some new prostitutes, and we see Candy, who's the solo prostitute working on her own, struggling to get by. And life is hard in New York City. It's Times Square, it's dirty, Manhattan, dirty. The cops are struggling to keep crime under control, lots of drugs, lots of prostitution. It's all on the streets. The crux and arc of season 1. Vinny gets a bar. The bar's successful. So, he working with Rudy, who's a mobster, he gets a new proposition. He runs a brothel. The brothel, successful. He's going to get another brothel. Basically, the cops have stay-out zones, so they can't police the areas where the mob has their brothels, because they just want the sex trafficking off the streets. It's semi-win-win for everybody involved. And Vinny's on the up and up. He's paid off by his brother Frankie's debts. Frankie's working for Rudy the mobster on his own. And everyone's making money. Even their brother-in-law Bobby's in on the dig, and he's running one of the brothels. The way they've touched on porn is that one of Vinny's guys, his bouncer, Big Mike, has an idea for a whole slew of peep show booths where basically you pay to go watch a porno in a booth. And so like they're going to open up a whole thing full of peep show booths. And so now they're showing porn movies. And like there's a premiere of one, Deep Throat, by the end of the season. So it's kind of entering the forefront, the mainstream, where it's being semi-accepted. And on the flip side are our prostitutes who are finding their way into pornography because they already sell their bodies for sex. So why not get paid for it on camera and not have real sex and like actually it's all set up and it's not dirty men off the streets. This is win-win for all the prostitutes. And it's also trouble for our pimps because they're kind of losing their whole purpose. Their prostitutes are either going into pornography, which maybe they could be their manager, or they're going into the brothels and they're off the streets. They don't have anything to do. What are the pimps going to do? We know the pimps are going to get into pornography because this whole show is about the rise of porn. So Candy, she has to get herself off the street. She's gotten like beaten up and it's tough. She finds her way into a director's chair of these porno movies. She was on camera, now she's behind the camera as well, and she sees the future, and she's a female director doing porn. We don't know enough about her in history. That's why the show The Deuce is amazing. Real people based upon. And I can only imagine where her career is going to take her. This is like the beginnings. The beginnings. It's awesome. The cops are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They want to clean up the streets, and in doing so, they have to allow some of these other things to go behind closed doors. They can't really shut down the porn industry, and it's about to blow up. We know this. This is like the precursors, right? And so then they okay the brothels, they okay the mob to do its thing, and then they just round up the prostitutes, and they say, go inside, get off the streets, go inside. We don't want to see you, but we know you exist. This is the whole funny dynamic of The Deuce. We had a reporter trying to work with the cops to like blow open the story in season 1, but she didn't get anywhere because nobody wanted to name names, and the cop didn't want to put his name in the paper. So it kind of swept under the rug. The main takeaway here is this seedy thing that was happening in public is now going to happen behind a door so the public doesn't have to look at it unless they want to pay to view it on a movie. That's how porn came to be. And that was what The Deuce season 1 was all about. Because this show is from the creators of The Wire, of course people died. We had a major death at the very end of the season where Ruby, one of the prostitutes, gets pushed out a window by a John. That's a shame. We also had one of the pimps get shot in the head by the diner owner because he was beaten up on his hookers. Yeah. Now, R.I.P. Ruby, but with the time jump coming in season 2, her death will be long forgotten. And it was really nice to see that diner owner stick up for the hookers and shoot that pimp because he was an a-hole. Not too much else death-wise went on. A lot of stress in Vinny's life with his ex-wife and his new love interest who dropped out of college. And then Frankie, who's just effing shit up. I'm trying to watch my language here, but it's hard. We're talking about porno, and it's the Deuce. I expect more drama to come. Those were the season 1 recap quick notes because you don't want to read it. You want to watch it. That was quick and dirty. I can't wait for more Deuce. Love this show on HBO. I'm Dan Salem. Subscribe to the BuzzChomp YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing Deuce videos all season long. Comment below. What was your favorite moment from Deuce season 1? Got a question? Did I miss a major story point? Probably not. Woo! The Deuce.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.